Hi, I'm Dave Barklow, pastor at Fort Walton Beach First United Methodist Church. Welcome to the Pastor's Study, our daily devotional to help us focus our mind on the things of God. We're looking at some of Jesus' parables, and today I want to read to you, it's a little bit longer, but it is probably one of the most famous parables, if not one of the most lovely literary parable that Jesus tells us. The parable, we call it of the prodigal son, some people call it of the two sons, some people call it of the generous dad, but you probably know what I'm talking about already. So this comes from Luke 15:11 through 32. Then Jesus said, there was a man who had two sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me. So he divided his property between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant country, and there he squandered his property in dissolute living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine took place throughout that country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him to the fields to feed the pigs. He would gladly have filled himself on the pods the pigs were eating, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, How many of my father's hired hands have bread enough to spare? But here I am, dying of hunger. I will get up, go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of your hired hands. So he set off and went to his father, but while he was still far off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. Then the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his slaves, Quickly, bring out a robe, the best one, and put it on him. And put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, and get the fatted calf and kill it. Let us eat and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost, and he is found. And they began to celebrate. Now the elder son was in the field. And when he came to approach the house, he heard music and dancing. He called to one of the slaves and asked him, What is going on? He replied, Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf, because he has got him back safe and sound. Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him. But he answered his father, Listen, for all these years I have been working like a slave for you. I have never disobeyed your command, yet you have never given me even a young goat that I might celebrate with my friends. But when the son of yours comes back, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you kill the fatted calf for him. Then the father said to him, Son, you were always with me, and all I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found. There is so much in this parable we could talk about. And in fact, the book we're using, Parables from the Backside by Dr. Callis, this is probably the longest chapter in the entire book. But one of the things that Dr. Callis focuses in on is this phrase, was the son is returning, and says, but when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him. And that phrase itself lets us know how loving a man this father was. Because if the father still saw the son while he was still a great way off, that meant the father had been looking, hoping, praying that the son would return. Some might say this father's overindulgent, right? I mean, he's given away his inheritance while he's still alive, but yet he greatly loves his younger son. And not only does he love his younger son, he loves his older son. When the older son won't come in and celebrate with everyone else, he goes out to him and pleads with him to come in and to enjoy. We don't know what happens there, right? In one case, love has won, the son has come home. In another case, we're left on the front porch and we're not real sure what's going to happen. Jesus is truly a master storyteller. But in the end, Dr. Callis writes this about love, about our relationship with God. In our own relationship to the Lord God, let us answer his love, that love of waiting for us, looking for us from a far distance, by loving him. He is the one who loves all his children, all his sons and daughters, and even their most unlovable times. So let us love him, this unparalleled lover, in return. Thus, in some small measure, we will help provide that love. While love doesn't always win, in some of us, it wins quite magnificently. Friends, I hope you experience, that you feel the love of God, and that you're able to return that love to your Creator and to those who are around you. I love you. Take care of yourself and shine the light of Christ.